Now, this story, the inquest into the Life Esidemeni tragedy, is underway. It aims to establish if anyone should be criminally charged for the deaths of 144 people. The psychiatric patients died 5 years ago. Now, Riante Naidoo is following the proceedings and joining us now on the Midday View this hour. Riante, good afternoon. An inquest finally beginning 5 years later after those more than 140 mental health patients died, allegedly at the hands of the Gauteng Health Department. What have we heard during the course of this morning?
Good day, Bradan. Well, you know, as any legal case or inquest starts off, all the senior counsel were invited to make opening remarks. And first we heard from the NPA's advocate Peter Late. We understand he will be leading evidence in this inquest. And essentially what he did was to summarize all the events that took place, which obviously led us to this inquest today. We know between 2017 and 2018 there was arbitration hearings that were essentially heard. About 60 witnesses came before retired Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke, and unfortunately, you know, him along with the rest of South Africa had to hear the absolutely tragic conditions that hundreds of mental health patients were subjected to. He summarized that it basically all started in 2015 when the Gauteng Health Department terminated its contract with Life Esidemeni, which was the facility that was now taking care of mental health patients. They were essentially transferred to several facilities and NGOs across the province that were extremely ill-equipped to obviously provide the healthcare environment that they all needed. He also mentioned that during the movement of some of these patients, Bradan, that was when some of them died because they were not transported correctly. Some actually, we heard, were starved to death. We also heard from Section 27 advocate Adila Hasim, who is now representing at least 44 bereaved families, and she also, you know, highlighted quite a few of the findings of, retired Judge Moseneke. And she says, you know, some of these incredibly crucial findings, she highlighted that, firstly, the deaths were unnatural and caused by government. That was one of the findings, from Judge Moseneke. The Gauteng health officials had the power to terminate that contract, or rather to not, obviously, move these mental health patients, yet they still continue to do it, and he believes were fully aware that they were moving them to NGOs that were ill-equipped to obviously take care of them. And then she also cited one of the findings that detailed how unfit these NGOs were, and retired Judge Moseneke also described these NGOs, some of these facilities, as death traps, and said that the Gauteng Health Department did not, fully carry out audits before moving patients to these facilities.
Yeah, because this is an inquest, the big question now is, will somebody be criminally charged?
Absolutely. That's the question everybody wants to hear, and it's absolutely what the families want. While the arbitration award, obviously ensured that about R1 million was obviously given to the families who were affected, there are some families who still have not successfully been compensated for the trauma they've all been through. Now, while like you mentioned, it is an inquest, it's not a criminal trial, it doesn't mean that criminal offences have not been committed, and the families don't believe that criminal offences, people should be held criminally liable for it. So according to advocate Hasim, they have actually put forward criminal offences to about 3 potentially accused government officials. Let's take a bite to who these government officials are and what these criminal offences are. Bradan.
Offences that arise in this inquest have been put to 3 of the potential accused in their warning statements. The charges put to Ms. Mahlangu, Dr. Salabano and Dr. Manamela are culpable homicide, assault with intention to do grievous bodily harm, and the contravention of Section 70, subsection 1C of the Mental Health Care Act, 17 of 2002. That section, milady, provides that anyone who neglects, abuses, or treats a mental health care user in any degrading manner or allows the user to be treated in that manner is guilty of an offence and liable upon conviction to fine and imprisonment. All this court is required to determine at this stage is whether prima facie there's evidence before it upon which a reasonable person might convict a person of an offence arising from some or all of the deaths of the named deceased. The ultimate decision, whether to prosecute or not, will rest with the National Director of Public Prosecutions.
Thank you very much, Riante, for that report. Now,